Hello everybody, this is Burgback coming to you with another Starcraft 2 commentary. Today's matchup will have ePGimix spawning as the green Terran in the bottom right hand corner of the map, and in the upper left hand corner of the map, MGShaDe spawning as the red Terran. And this is on MLG Antiga Shipyard. Definitely a great map, and it's also of course used by MLG. And this replay has been given to me by Killer Hand, who is from Team Epidemic. This is from the Zeke tournament final clan war between Team Epidemic here, the green, and the red team here, which is, from what he's telling me, Icons of Valor. So we'll see how this goes, and this is basically Grandmaster type gameplay. So he did say that is a really intense TvT, so I'm really interested to see how this goes for both teams here. And, Killer Hands, he's the owner and founder, and he had contacted me. He had seen some of my replays, and he said, you know what, Burgback, I want to give you some replays for our team, just to see what we're all about, and, just to have them up on our website and up on my channel, just to have some content and have their team kind of get spread out there. And their name is, Team Epidemic. It usually goes with a lowercase e, capital P, lowercase I. So I'm not sure why he's missing that, but Killer Hands, he seems to be really into it. He's owning this, and Gimmix. Just so everybody's aware who Gimmix is, if anybody's been watching MLGs this past year, White Raw kind of had a little issue where he missed a few games, missed a matchup. So he was kind of in the hole for his next matchup, which was against ePGimix. So Gimmix decided he was going to throw 2 games. So he just threw the 2 games away, just throwing his units away and allowing White Raw to have the games that he deserved the first time around. So that's pretty much his 15 minutes of fame there as the most mannered player in esports. So if anybody is wondering who this guy is down here, that's who he is. And, he seems to be a really well-mannered guy, which is great. And it looks like a really great thing for Team Epidemic as well. Really well played there, and able to get the really good word out there for that team. So really, both, cross-spawning on this map, Gimmix having control of the center right now. Of course, we don't know how long that's going to be once Marines and such get out and about on the map. We do have a factory being built on the side here, away from anything in the front. So in case a scan goes down, we're not going to be able to see that, and a starport going down as well. So we're seeing a 1-1-1 build coming up right away here from SHADE. And SHADE, I'm not sure what we're going to see. We might just see a medevac play. We are seeing Reapers coming out of Gimmix, though. This should be an interesting build. And a factory now finally coming down for Gimmix as well. We see him going for that second command center. So we're going to be seeing fast expands coming from Gimmix. He really wants to bolster out the economy early on. And again, this SCV just kind of chilling in the center, not really doing a whole lot. This Reaper can really take advantage of all of these walls, this raised level here, being able to get up and down right away. We have a second command center now coming down for SHADE as well, and it looks like this Reaper now in the middle of the map, getting ready to go up north and hunt for what he can. And he looks like he's coming up just around here, going to be taking advantage of all the hidden areas on the map that he can. So Gimmix starting out there, and it looks like we got a starport now coming down for Gimmix as well. So we're basically going around the same build. We do have a Banshee coming out for SHADE, as looks like Gimmix coming all the way around the side, going to try and do some harassment here, and it looks like he will start doing harassment. Alright, 1 going down. It looks like trying to get the surround here with his workers. SCV's definitely getting the surround here. It looks like that Reaper is going to go down, so really well defended there by SHADE, able to get that out there. We do have the Banshee now coming out, going through the middle, and it looks like Gimmix going to see this Banshee, going to try and be prepared for it. We're going to see, Marines now starting to come out into this area here, just to get ready to defend that. Of course, no cloak poke on that Banshee, so that Banshee will be toast if it gets in here and is not defended. And it looks like the Banshee coming around to the mineral line, going to get ready to do some kind of attack here. Banshee already has 1 kill with that SCP in the middle, going for 2 kills, and it looks like the Marines are starting to come in. We're going to have 3 kills now on that Banshee. Banshee running out, flying out rather, it doesn't really run out. And we also have a Viking coming out in the midfield just to get a little bit of a vision there as well. We don't have any units out here, of course, to take control of that tower. So it looks like, you know, pretty even here. Some harassment for more harassment on both sides. Sending the Marines out to this expand just to defend a little bit in case something comes out. Both of them sending out, and even Gimmick sending his units out here to defend his expand. And again, both of them basically placing their orbital commands at the same time. So we look at the income, they're pretty much even, I think, you know, with harvesters and whatnot, and of course Red in a lead a little bit just with the mule being down, but of course the mule now coming down for Gimmicks as well. So it looks like Gimmicks getting ready to push out just a little bit here with the tank. And also getting a Raven is a very interesting play there. Getting a Raven in that, probably just for, you know, turrets or to put down, you know, the defender on being able to stop any kind of weaponry coming in. And of course we do have that Banshee coming in again, that 3-kill Banshee. Not even healed, so I'm surprised at that, but bringing it back into the midfield, going to try and do some damage, it looks like here. Both of them working on stim. And you know, now taking control of the midfield. So SHADE definitely looking for that control, and it looks like SHADE also using a Viking just to keep in control here, just in case there's some kind of drop, you know, medevac drop. And it looks like the Banshee now starting to come up here, just seeing if there's an expand up here first. Doesn't see anything, and it looks like he's going to start coming down with this this Banshee, just to get a little bit of harassment. Oh, and he sees the Marines and decides to back out just a little bit. Does get another kill there. Another kill with that, so we're up to 5 kills, 6 kills now. This Banshee is really making its money worth here, being able to micro that in and out. But we do have a Viking now out for Gimmicks with a Raven. Of course, that Raven acting as a detector as well. And there it is, the points defense drone is what I was thinking about earlier. But, you know, being able to use that Raven, you know, movable detection, and just in case this Banshee here decides to come back in. And we do have a scan coming down, so Gimmick's just giving a little idea of what's going on here. It does see the 3 racks with that starport coming out and that reactor being built onto that. We do have the factory with the tech lab out as well, so we're going to have a lot of tanks. It looks like we're going heavy mech on both sides possibly, just because of the tank situation. Really great use of siege at the top of the ramp here. Of course, this one's placed out just a little bit farther so we can have some vision. And the medevac's coming out on both sides. So we're looking at a possible mech build with Marines on both sides, just with the siege tanks. And looks like Gimmicks maybe going for a drop. We're going to see this coming up really quick here. Of course, this Viking, of course, being able to see if that's going to be coming out on that side. All the while, this is in the midfield. We have SHADE coming down with his tanks and his Marines. Of course, 1 attack plus upgrade, and no upgrades here for Gimmicks. So we do have Combat Shield coming out for SHADE as well. Combat Shield coming out for Gimmicks as well. But of course, SHADE is going to be finishing that off first. And it looks like Destructible Rock's going to be coming down for Gimmicks' side. So this expand will be vulnerable in case of an attack from SHADE if he ever goes for that attack. And it looks like, oh, the Vikings seeing that there. SHADE is going to be seeing that, and it's decided to come out and pull back here a little bit. So we have just 17 health on that Viking, but we have 46 health on that medevac. That medevac probably won't make it in case they go forward here. And it looks like we do have a missile turret being built as well. So again, we look at the placement here. The command center starting to come forward, and Red, oh my gosh, MGShaDe just coming up with his units, having the high ground advantage, and these Marines starting to stim and start attacking this command center. Command center going down almost in the red. It is in the orange, so it will be a little bit vulnerable there. It is going to start landing, and we'll probably see that being repaired very, very soon. This lone Marine out here just having a fun time, and just kind of sitting there and just watching for anything that's going to be coming by, and he soon will be seeing something, possibly, as more Marines are starting to come by. SHADE having a little bit of advantage here, of course, nothing being out here, but it looks like, oh no, I thought we were going to be transferring some SCVs out to this, but we are not. So really this command center just sitting out here for nothing. And it looks like, oh, these poor medevacs just coming up here, and we see the damage coming up from the high ground from these tanks. And of course these medevacs serving as great utility here to be able to see up on the high ground. But those poor Marines getting splattered as they come up. So SHADE really has a really good high ground advantage right now. Of course these medevacs are here, and it looks like Vikings coming in to take care of these medevacs. And again, the scan just coming on both sides. You know, really great use of scans, being able to see what's going on. And of course, Gimmicks having control of the center now, because most of SHADE's units are right here and right here. So he's able to just kind of split the difference. With this drop that was up here, he's able to control now. And it looks like Gimmicks now coming up into his expand area, going to be taking out these Marines. And the 1-1 on these Marines here, able to take down the 1-1 of SHADE's Marines as well. So it looks like we're going to be seeing an attack in the center here as units starting to come up. These Vikings going to be taking out that medevac, hopefully, as, yeah, there we go. And the tank's just kind of stopping there. SHADE not really paying attention at all, and it looks like SHADE will have this, but just barely. I mean, wow, look at this. The siege tank here down to 16 health, the siege tank at 52 health. And these Marines took a little bit of damage before SHADE took notice of them even getting attacked down here. And again, this Viking just kind of sitting here. I think this Viking is kind of futile, of course, because we have these missile turrets here. Could definitely be using this elsewhere. And Gimmicks just bolstering his forces, now building 2 racks up here at the expansion. Just because he can, you know, I mean, having these here adds to the utility, being able to have them up closer to the front, being able to get them out faster, you know, instead of having them out here in the main, can serve really well. Sensor towers going up everywhere, just to have that base of, you know, being able to see what's going on. Infantry weapons going up, and it looks like both of them are going for, oh, that poor Marine. The scan going up, being able to see what's up there, and tanks just sieging all over this high ground. And it looks like SHADE going for another expand, getting a little greedy, going out towards the middle, of course. That is a very open map, very open position. You know, if Gimmicks is able to get this high ground again, you can say goodbye to this expand. And again, this is just pretty much, you know, normal TvT. You're going to see, especially if they're on the same build, you know, you're going to be able to see tanks sieging up on both sides. And again, these Vikings serving as viewers, being able to get out there, get out a little bit farther, and if these, I mean, tanks can't hit up, but these Marines, of course, can. But if you get these Marines, if you look at the placement here of these Marines, they are in back of the tanks. They are ready to not take damage from these siege tanks that are here. And again, these siege tanks are pretty low on health. These front siege tanks are pretty low on health, so a couple hits will definitely take that by. And it looks like Gimmick going around the side and looking to sneak by. Of course, once he hits this area up here, he will be noticed, but he's going in here. He has his tanks still out in placement here, and the scan coming down, he doesn't see any Marines. I wonder if he's wondering himself what's going on. A scan coming out here as well, so SHADE probably thinking, oh, we're going to get attacked soon. But you know what? He does see the red coming up here. He sees the units of Gimmicks coming up, and it looks like this expand going to be getting hit a little bit, and sees that planetary fortress and sees them repairing and decides to pull back, getting out here, doing whatever damage he can. Siege tank up here going to be taking out more units, and just looks like SHADE cleaning up these Marines that were coming around. So didn't really serve a huge purpose, except we have a small base of units, nothing up here except 3 Marines, and it looks like Gimmicks is looking to take this high ground in the midfield of the map. And just starting to build up here, but tanks starting to come up on both sides, and it looks like Gimmicks is getting murdered here on that ramp. These siege tanks able to start taking, oh, this siege tank was able to take out that siege tank. So it's still living. It's able to have a little bit of vision here on the ramp. And we might be able to move a couple of these siege tanks up if he'd want to. But it looks like SHADE's starting to move forward. And these siege tanks placed very evenly here, being able to do a little bit of damage here, but of course this siege tank looks like it might be getting taken out as well. And ePGimix, I'm sorry, I don't know why I just called them Epics, decided to go up towards this area and start doing an expansion up here, not going for the center. Of course, that seems like a good move. Keep it as far away from your enemy as possible. And all the while, this expansion able to get moving as well. So it looks like Gimmick's starting to move north here with his units, going around, trying to get out of sensor range. But of course, he's going to be getting in here, and it looks like Shade's going to be noticing this. But again, really good placement of those tanks. Putting him up here, able to hit this ramp if the units decide to come out. But it looks like Shade having ideas of his own. It looks like this expansion is going down, so Gimmicks is now going to be able to get a little bit ahead here on the income, as you can see. It's going to drop a little bit here as soon as we start moving forward and he starts really moving into this expansion. But it looks like Shade coming up here to this expansion, starting to raise it up and moving his units out of the way, as Shade just starting to really move in here into Gimmick's base. Starting to look like he's going to take out these two racks that are in here as well. And Gimmick's not really pulling back. Kind of interesting here. But we do have a couple Marines sitting back here waiting, getting ready to hit. And looks like, you know, Gimmick's not really hurt by this. He's going to be just bringing up his units up here to start mining as well. And it's a really well-defended area because you have to come all the way up to get to it. And tanks just coming up here, and the drop just coming up here onto the high ground, getting that vision, starting to really do damage here from these tanks. Medevac's pulling out, so he did lose a good bunch of Marines out of this, of course, with some tank drops. But Vikings, of course, not doing a whole lot except going after his Medevacs. And it looks like Gimmicks might... I was going to say it might be winning here, but, you know, Shade definitely having to pull back here just to defend inside the base. And it looks like, you know, these Marines able to just kind of come up and do a little bit of damage what he can. And that was kind of a scary move there, bringing the medevac up and bringing those Marines over. Oh, the siege tank coming out and taking care of that. Oh, that was a really great move there, just in the nick of time. So Shade now kind of in there. You see the difference here, 300 minerals to 1,300 minerals, and the difference in harvesters, of course. So, wow, just he's a little bit ahead on the income, even with, you know, with the same amount of orbital commands and command centers and whatnot. But of course, Gimmicks, of course, will be trying to come back in here. But again, the slaughter, the lambs coming to the slaughter. Marines coming in to the tanks and the Marines here from Shade. Shade pushing in as much as possible here. Tanks here, able to defend. Of course, we have tanks on the high ground as well, with not a really huge range here. But in case Shade decides to pull up on this side here, we'll have a good range of units. And Medevac's coming up here, dropping everything on the high ground, of course, so these guys do not do any kind of damage. And these Marines, not very high on the HP listing here. If you look at all of them, they're all pretty much in yellow, orange, red, nothing really in green. These Medevacs are have energy, but they're not really healing as much because, of course, on the move they don't heal. And these tanks, really well placed here, going to be putting the slaughter on a good bunch of units here as we see the kill count start going up. And the splash damage of that, just amazing. Again, trying to build up in this expand here. We do have units in here, and if we look at the income tab, it looks like the sides are pretty much, even with 70 harvesters, look at that count. You know, the mules really help on this kind of count. We do have a drop coming up here on this expand. We do see this, and tanks coming up. Looks like this planetary fortress might be taking a hit down here. Of course, because there's nothing able to defend this. And these SCVs doing all they can to defend. It doesn't look like we have anything, but we do have a couple Marines starting to come up to the north. I think he did stop that, though. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to really do anything here. More Marines just coming around the side here. It looks like we were looking to do an expand. Down here, it did get hit, and it looks like the Marines did come down to take care of that. But again, tanks now coming up here. We're going to look at doing some damage here. Oh, look at that. The siege tank's definitely getting a hit there as the drop coming down, and these Medvac now getting down. So Gimmick's able to save this expand. He does have an expand ready to go when possible. And SHADE just coming in with a bunch more Marines. These tanks doing a great job of splash damage, and they're spread out, but they are taking a good amount of Marines down with them, even though he did lose all those tanks. We do have tanks now down here on the low ground, and this medevac up here on the high ground able to kind of act as a guide for these tanks, doing a great job of pushing SHADE back, and it looks like SHADE going for more here. Gonna try and do some damage. Of course, the siege tank coming up, trying to push these units back, but it doesn't look like it's going to be doing much as the scan coming down and just getting out of range of these siege tanks. And it looks like, oh, these SCVs pulling out and getting slaughtered on the way. And again, you know, not going for an expand here, of course, but Gimmix is here just in case. And it looks like we're going to have a battle coming up here in the middle. That sensor tower gonna go down, and well-used siege tanks here gonna be taking out all those Marines. And it looks like all these medevacs are gonna be wasteful right now. You know, not gonna be able to do a darn thing except lift tanks up if need be. And again, these tanks in siege mode, if these tanks get up here, all of the scanning going down, and of course just 3 tanks against all these Marines and all of these tanks up here, going to be taken down. And I'm just not sure where this game is going to go. We're already at the 30-minute mark on the game. We have an expand coming down here again, but we have a Marine down here that's going to be stopping that from even coming close to being made. We do have an expand here for SHADE that just dropped off, and these Marines going to be doing what they can to take it out. It looks like they are going to be taking this out. Marines coming out a little too late here, and Gimmix definitely going to be taking that out, as you can see there by it exploding. And again, SCVs coming up, and just again, like lands to the slaughter, as I said before, and bye-bye SCVs. As Marines coming up to clean up what they can, it looks like they are definitely going to be taking out Gimmix's units here, but at what cost? That econ that was just lost up here is dreadful, as this planetary fortress here, still up, still operational, has been for a while, able to defend that. Really great use there. And again, up on the high ground, we have the Marines coming in, stimming up, going in, going forward, trying to get in there before those tanks. And tanks somehow hitting up here, but we do have a scan again, able to see how many units are up on the high ground. Tanks doing a really well defended job here, and again now starting to take out these SCVs that are at this orbital command. So going to be able to take that out and force those SCVs off the block. More units coming up on the side here, Marines coming in, taking out that tank, and just trying to surround Gimmix's units, doing a really good job of taking out these tanks. And again, controlling the high ground again. So it's really trying to control this high ground and, you know, playing back and forth. It's really like a game of chess, like I said. You know, TvT is kind of like this, guys, but again, very intense. We do have this expansion now coming up into play with all these mules. We look at the income, and we look at the switching here. Look at this, 59 harvesters to 54 harvesters. And the income is definitely in Gimmix's favor now, as we do have units coming for taking out these tanks, and it looks like Marines coming down to this expand and taking out this expansion for Gimmix. So that lead that he had slowing down a little bit, but again, still in the lead here, 1,200 to 600. So double the income, double the pleasure, as they say. And again, Gimmix controlling the center again, and expand again coming up here for SHADE. We don't have anything coming in for that, of course, and it looks like we're going to get another expand up here, but I'm not sure if this is going to be SHADE or if this is going to be Gimmix making that. And we look at this tank is sitting here. Why is this tank sitting here? Another tank is sitting here. I wonder what they're doing there. Are they stuck there? I wonder. As Marines and tanks again controlling the mid-ground. And this is pretty much all this game has been since the 15-minute mark, I have to say. You know, Marines and tanks, and who can control, you know, the bigger army, who can control, and right now, of course, the bigger army is going to Gimmix. Who has, like I said, more money coming in at a time and has more harvesters in at a time. And yeah, there we go. Gimmix, that is who is coming up to this top area and is going to be landing another orbital command. So it looks like Gimmix now starting to go in around, going to be trying to, yeah, he's going to be starting to take out these command centers, going to be starting to take that out, and Shade's going, you know what, no, buddy, we're going to be pushing in here, we're going to be going after you, and all the while, Gimmix coming back and trying to make sure to see if he can. Oh my gosh, Gimmicks coming in with an even bigger army. I don't think Shade has a prayer now, as it looks like Gimmicks now starting to come in here, and yeah, the GG from Shade. So really well played there by both players. Like I said, it's Terran versus Terran. Anything can be possible from this kind of matchup, but of course they both decided to go the same build with tanks and Marines. It could have been a different game had somebody gone a different build, but in this kind of matchup, it really comes down to who has the bigger army, and bigger macro and micro even. These tanks are very dangerous, and it really came down to who could control this middle ground, especially because of this expansion being here and just having the vision of these ramps and the high ground, and a lot of the scans came into play, as you can see there. Just a lot of stuff coming in, and it looks like also I missed a drop here. I apologize. I could go back and look at that, but it looks like somebody got a Vespian Geyser here at one time, and you just look at how long this game went. Both expand and main were mined out. This one almost mined out. It's just crazy how well that worked, and just wow. Both had early harassment, and they just went on from it. They were both able to deal with it. So really well played by both sides. If you guys are interested in Epidemic Gaming, I will put their website down below in the description, so you can have a look at them. And if you like this, please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to hit that thumbs up button that you liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.